Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today is salmon with molasses sauce. I'm going to be pan frying Atlantic salmon and then after it's just going to be seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then after we're going to fry out some apple wedges and then make a delicious molasses sauce. So this dish was inspired today by Valentine's. I just want to bring a nice dish that you can prepare for you and your loved one, just a dinner for two, and that way you can enjoy it. So I'm just going to season first and let it rest for just a little bit longer. A bit of pepper and salt over the salmon. Just going to push that ahead, and then I'm going to reach for my apples. We're going to peel 2 of these apples, and that's what we'll be using for frying in our pan. It doesn't matter what type of apple you use, whichever is your favorite or whichever is on sale or in the market that day, if you buy it local or in your grocery store. So just make little wedges like this. I'm going to do one with the peel off and the other one with the peel on. So we're going to be using 2 apples for this dish. So now I'm going to reach for this nice red one, which again represents Valentine's. It would look very nice. So basically, after I do this, we'll take our salmon over to our stove top. I got a cast iron pan. You don't need to have a cast iron pan. You could use a regular frying pan. Have it nice and hot, and then I'll show you what we'll do next. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a tablespoonful of butter into my cast iron frying pan. And again, you don't have to have a cast iron. You can have a regular frying pan. About a tablespoon or a little less of oil, and you could use what oil of your choice. I got olive oil, extra virgin, but you could use any kind of oil. And now what I'm going to do is put our salmon skin down into the frying pan. And we'll put in the other piece. So we're going to have skin down. We're going to let that fry there for about 2 to 3 minutes on that side. And you'll notice that it's starting to get golden brown. And then we'll flip it over for about a minute or 2 on the other side. It smells absolutely delicious in here. So we're almost at the ending point of cooking our salmon on the skin side down. And like I said, this is going to be a delicious dish for you and your loved one for Valentine's. I'm excited to bring it to you. Okay, before I flip it, I'm going to put a little squeeze of lemon juice on this side, and then I'm going to flip it over into our pan as such. As you can see, the skin is nice and golden brown, and the same with this side. Just would grip on it and flip it. That looks good. This is just an extra piece. Okay, I'm going to be taking it out now. Remember that it was 2 to 3 minutes on one side and a minute to 2 on the other side, depending on how hot. And remember, we want it nice and not overcooked. Now we'll take this piece out. So now I'm going to be putting the apple wedges into the same pan that your salmon came out of, because we want the flavors of that salmon on our apple wedges. And like I said, this is going to be almost like a replacement for your apple cider board. And so I'm going to add another piece of butter, another tablespoonful in there. Let that melt while it's frying. Okay, so we don't need to add any seasonings over this. Like I said, we have salt and pepper and a little bit of lemon juice on our salmon. And remember, 2 to 3 minutes on the skin down side and a minute or 2 on the other side. And I will supply you with the recipe for this. And like I said, super easy. If you don't have access to Atlantic salmon, and it's no disrespect, you could use whatever salmon is available in your market. I understand that not everybody's got the same access to stuff. I hope I'm making your mouth drool, because mine is drooling right now, just the thoughts of having this dish afterwards. And again, like I said, if you can't make it for Valentine's, definitely take this opportunity to try to make this dish and make it a part of your menu. So just flip the apples over, and just about maybe a minute on each side. I don't want the apples to be soft, I just want them to be a little golden brown. Okay, so I'm going to remove the apple wedges now from the frying pan. And like I said, all of this got to be done fairly quick. You're pretty well going to be making this and serving it right away. I mean, I'm sure you can let it rest if you want to, but I mean, who wants to let their salmon rest any longer than, you know, when you take it out of the pan? And you need the pan that the salmon came out of it to make this sauce, because you need those drippings. Okay, so what we're going to do next is add in our cup of wine. So a cup of white wine. If you don't want to use wine, you could use apple cider, or I mean, I'd probably say a vegetable broth, but I won't use like a meat broth or anything, because you don't want to take away from that salmon taste. And then after, we'll let that boil down for just a second, and then we're going to add in 2 tablespoonfuls of balsamic vinegar. So I'm going to pour this out into my tablespoon. While that's bubbling there, you can see it's starting to cook off, and it'll cook off any alcohol there, as you can see, as it's boiling. So we're going to do 2 tablespoonfuls of the balsamic vinegar. So we'll let that go. So this is our magic ingredient, a 1/4 cup of molasses. And you could use dark molasses, cooking molasses, it doesn't matter, whichever you got available in your home. So the Atlantic salmon, of course, is a traditional Newfoundland meal, but this sauce is brought to you by my favorite, the one that I've been making for many years to go over my salmon. So I just wanted to share it with all of you, and I hope you enjoy it the same. So we're going to let that boil down until it starts to condense and thicken just a little. We don't want it to be a lot, we just want it for it to be just a nice light sauce. And as you can see, it's starting to condense nice. It's still bubbling. It's got a very nice smell. You can smell the molasses, but you can also smell the apples infused there, and the salmon. So you'll be quite amazed by how tasty this sauce is. So let's bring this to our countertop now, and we'll start plating. So like I was saying, this is a dinner for 2. I'm more or less making a sweetheart meal so that you can enjoy with your loved one. So we're going to take the apple wedges first and put on the plate. So bear with me as I demonstrate this delicious dish. So we'll put, I'm going to plate 2 plates this time, so as you will get to see. So you'll put that there like that. Let's move this to the side. What I'm also going to do now is reach for our sauce that we just made, and that's a molasses sauce. I'm going to pour it into this dish, and this is what it's going to look like. It's, like I said, it's condensed, but it's still got that nice pouring. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach for the salmon, because I'm going to plate this now. I'm going to put one on top of the apple there, and the other one, I guess my husband's going to be fighting over who's going to get the bigger piece, but it might have to be a little fight. So anyway, so that's the other piece. I'm going to move this plate out of the way. So what I'm going to do now, which I never talked about during the episode, because I'm going to leave the vegetable choice to you, I cut up some carrot into nice round slices, and I made some rice. So this is what I'm going to be serving with this dish today. So let me reach for my rice. And it's going to look something like this. So now we're going to be pouring a little bit of that molasses sauce just over the top of the salmon. Now you can have as much or as less as possible. You can also put it over your rice, And then I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of parsley over the top of this, so just to dress it up a little. So this is what you're going to be serving for your Valentine's special for you and your loved one. So this is what you're looking at. You're looking at two delicious meals. I hope that you found this recipe helpful for you. Again, Atlantic salmon is a big Newfoundland tradition, but the sauce is just something that I brought to you just to add a little more taste to your salmon for this Valentine's. And of course, after every delicious meal, you want a nice dessert. So after this episode, we're going to go right into a custard pudding, old-fashioned custard pudding, made hot, served hot, topped with whipped cream and some chocolate, and that'll be our dessert as well for this Valentine's special. Okay, I got my wine poured up. Of course, I'm going to have to find another glass so that my husband can have a glass of wine too to enjoy his meal. So again, I hope you found this episode of salmon with molasses sauce helpful for you. So happy Valentine's to you and your loved ones. Thank you for joining us today for Bonita's Kitchen. Don't forget to subscribe to Bonita's Kitchen. Up at the top right hand corner, just hit the link on YouTube and it'll direct you to what you need to do. Also visit us on our Facebook page or our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. So thank you once again for joining us for Bonita's Kitchen. Don't forget to stay tuned for our dessert that's up next on our Valentine's special. And you have a wonderful day.